Welcome to the December 22nd meeting of the Board of Selectmen. If everybody rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to thank you for coming or tuning in. This kind of holiday season approaches, and we do have some news relative to the Secret Santa project. It would appear that there have been numerous donations, and we appreciate anything that anyone was willing to do, and based on the request from last week, and I'm sure that there will be a lot of smiles on a lot of kids' faces here in the next few days. So, any other announcements from the board?
And to Santa and his helpers.
Yeah, Santa.
Big thank you, Santa and helpers.
People might be interested in knowing exactly what was serviced this year. The Santa's Little Helper program has provided Christmas this year for 168 kids and food baskets for 60 families. And I would just, thank the folks that do the Santa's Little Helper, but I'd also like to acknowledge Nancy Johnson. Mm-hmm. She works very closely with that program, and she has really done a tremendous job again this year, and she certainly deserves our kudos for a job well done again this year.
Good. Absolutely.
Went to the SAU 57 budget workshop at Lyman Elementary School last night. This is difficult. The way it stands, the way the state has taken money away from schools in the past year or two and will continue next year as it's speculated, and the effect that it will have on SAU 57 is pretty dramatic. This year, at the end of this year, I think everybody heard that there's 6 teachers' positions going in order for them to make it through the rest of this year. Next year, they gave some scenarios. One is they're going to lose, all in all, from state subsidy over the last couple of years, and next year will come to about $3.5 million out of a $33 million budget. So you're talking about 10% of the budget of the state appropriation is going to be lost. That has a dramatic effect on the budget, and it has a dramatic effect on what the budget is and the effect it has on the tax dollar. An example that was given last night: if the district raised their budget, their full budget, by 1.55%, which has been the average over the past 4 years that they've raised it. Not a huge budget increase. 1.55% is certainly lower than inflation has been. So they've kept that down. If they did that next year, the tax increase to SAU, on the average of SAU 57, the tax increase would be close to 30%. It would be 28.5%. Now, if they go back and say, okay, we can't do that, what we'll do is we'll have zero increase, and therefore, by having zero increase, because there's an increase in insurance, an increase in operational costs, et cetera, they will have to project to lay off another 10 to 20 teachers in order to have zero increase. That comes down to a tax increase of 15%. If they were to drop their budget down so that there was no tax increase, that would be a $3.5 million reduction in their budget and it would stand to be between 50 and 60 teachers.
Wow.
That would take the classroom size, the average classroom size, from 18 now to above 30. So that's what they're looking at in the school department right now. That's what they were talking about the other night. It's incredible. So if the taxpayers footed the bill to keep the schools kind of as they are now, the bill would be about 28% on your tax rate. And if you say we don't want any new taxes from the school, then you can bet on 50 to 60 teachers being laid off.
Not good.
It's more fun talking about what we've done to families, for families
Yeah.
than that. But that's what's coming in the next year.
All right, John, thanks. Just a quick announcement. We have lost a longtime resident here recently, Colin Cannon. I believe his funeral was today. And certainly our thoughts go out to the family of Colin. We have an appointment that we've kind of carved out here for the Road Review Committee. So that is the queue.
That is the queue, okay. Well, my name is Jim Gender, and I'm the chair of the road committee. This is basically dealing with the main DOT. Joe came down, Wagner came down, told us about this program, and I've handed you out a application like they handed out to us. I did a little bit of research on it, and if you look at some of the sites that I have listed on there, you'll find a lot more info on that. One site actually provides an overview of the program as well as specific program guidance to the states and the administration of the Safe Routes to School programs. I've also got the points of contact listed there. At its heart, the Safe Routes to School program empowers communities to make walking and bicycling to school a safe and routine activity. The program makes funding available for a wide variety of programs and projects. Can't really give you a whole lot of info about it other than basically we're asking to present this in front of you for you people to decide whether or not we can get the town planner to look into this to see if this is actually a viable program for us. We had some things we'd like to consider as well. There were questions that were brought up as to whether or not a sidewalk ordinance might have to be implemented at some time because of this, for maintaining them, plowing them, or obstructing them. We are supposed to have a meeting with the DOT on January 13th of 2010 on the sidewalk programs. We're hoping that we have more info then, but we would like to get Tom to look into this more because it's beyond my scope as far as trying to figure what we need to do. I think it's a pretty good program. They're talking about potentially having sidewalks from the Townhouse Road all the way down on Route 5 on one side, on both sides of the road, and on the other side, all the way down by the school. So if you think of when they put the library in at some point, it could be a really good thing. I don't know for sure, though, but it's pretty much all I have.
I think it's good to mention, too, one of the things that was discussed in the Road Review Committee meeting is that the grant is for 100% of the cost.
Correct, I've got that written down. It's 100% funded, so
Is that federal money or state money?
I believe it's federal money.
Federal money?
Yeah. I mean, I went to these sites online, and there's really a lot of info in there, a really lot of good info. Somebody that knows what they're really looking at. I saw a lot of potential there, but it's up to you people in the town. I think the town is growing. I think it's just a matter of time. I think it's time to plan, and if we're going to have sidewalks, let's do them someday.
So the process on this is to Fill out the...
The
fill out
application, yeah, I think the best thing to do would be to try to get a hold of Tom and have him look into it, because he's the one that's gonna have all the contact, and he's gonna be able to do a lot better than we could. If we're there to help, whatever we can do, an advisory committee, you know, we're doing what we can.
So we fill, I mean, the first thing maybe to fill it out and get something in, and then start doing the political stuff that needs to happen to go along with
Probably,
it.
yes. I would think so. Would you?
And basically, he'd be probably being used to writing grants.
Right, and this is for fiscal year
Terminology.
2010, 2011. I think the
Yeah.
deadline is June 2010, so we have some time to try to figure
Yeah.
this out.
Excellent.
Yeah, sounds good.
So I would think, any questions or comments, or we probably ought to stick something on this agenda that would give us an action, right?
Yes.
Do we have to vote?
Well, what we'd like to know is if you want to support us. I mean, if you want to support us before we start spinning our wheels. I mean, we don't want to spin
Well,
our wheels for nothing.
yeah, I think what we need to do, Jim, is at least engage Tom.
Correct.
So we need to kind of at
Start
least tee
the-
that up, that says
Okay.
that we're willing to,
Okay,
because I think as he starts to dig into it, then I think the discussion of do we support or not support
Correct.
becomes much
Correct.
easier, right?
okay, all right, fair enough.
And Joe has a pocket full of money that he brought down from Augusta with him.
Well, we got a map upstairs, and I didn't bring it down because it was just, I didn't think that I was gonna be able to get it back up there, but it kind of shows a picture, and it's quite a big area. I mean, you're looking at quite a bit of sidewalk. We don't have to do both sides of the road, but they're willing to possibly do both sides, so,
It would be nice.
yeah, it would.
Did they, maybe we don't know this at this point, but I would guess that you just can't stick a sidewalk in, right? You have to do the road improvements along with, which brings the DOT into the picture here, seeing as how we've been 40 years trying to get Route 5 rebuilt.
But it would be nice.
Yeah.
You're also probably talking about people's land that you...
Well, we thought of that too, because you're gonna talk about easements, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot more involved than just,
Yeah.
you know, but the preliminary, I guess, is just if whether or not we can get the support, whether or not it's actually feasible to do, whether or not the town really wants to do it, and go from there.
I think, you know, there's a history of people been trying to get something like this done, especially on Route 5.
Well,
And this, you know, I think this would be welcomed by many.
I think it probably would be, and I know Joe's right there with us, so,
Okay,
okay?
good enough, thank you.
Thank you.
So I guess I would entertain a motion to add under new business. I guess the sidewalk,
Vote to send the sidewalk
yeah,
over to Tom for review.
yeah.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? This is to add it to the agenda. All those in favor? Okay, so item 4. Under new business. Okay, hearing a delegation. No correspondence. New business, discuss, vote to sign order to correct violation, malfunctioning septic system. In your packet, I believe, you'll see a letter that is from CEO Patty Berry to us.
I'll move Patty's recommendation.
Oh, that email.
You know, what's in this?
Yeah, we sent it to us on December 8th. That's good.
I'd second it.
Any discussion?
I didn't get it.
You didn't get it?
Nope.
The color, this one.
No, it wasn't in our packets this week, and
Collusion.
See, the magic of electronic media.
did you get it? Gordon didn't get it either.
Well, I got it when I came in the packet, because I was in early tonight and I read it, but I didn't,
If you want to take a minute and review it. thought everybody had it. Should have had it.
It went through updates and is reviewed, so I'm waiting for it to come up.
Okay.
It does seem strange, though, that an 8-year-old septic system sitting in sand, which is what they have out there, would fail that fast.
I would agree, but unfortunately.
I wonder if they can go back to the original contractor and, or whoever did the design work on it.
I'm all set.
I'm all set too.
Okay. All right. It's been moved and seconded to sign the order to correct violation. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay. Back to the agenda here. Discuss vote on proposed LD 2389. And I do not see that in the correspondence or in our packet, so
It wasn't in our online
That's that
packet.
email.
it was in last, I think it was in last week's packet.
Yep.
And I don't know if one of you two can pull it up quickly, because
Yeah, it's loading now.
it's really there was a summary of the bill. This came from, I think, Representative Melissa Innes, who represents, I think, John, right. The proposal, if I can try to summarize, is to, there are some programs today in the state that, laws that require certain manufacturers of product to also include in that product offering the disposal of those products. And I think this is an attempt to propose a kind of a blanket law that says empowering the DEP to pull those product families, I think they're called product families, or and look at opportunities to reduce recycling.
You want it?
Yeah.
You're going to have that to school with.
All right. An act to provide leadership in responsible recycling for consumer products. Basically, I think what she's saying is 80% of what we do today is recyclable. The law itself, or the proposed law, is like, I don't know how many pages long, but it's significant. This would allow, it's called product stewardship laws for electronic waste, computers, TVs, printers, cell phones. We have those laws on the books today. This would afford local governments to manage the growing wave of consumer product waste, etc. And it really, to summarize it, it gives the DEP power to identify, here you go, two things, additional products, product stewardship programs that would take material out of the general waste stream and put it into the recycling waste stream as a controlled product. And I know I'm not giving the law or what she is proposing justice, but we kind of kicked it around a little bit last week and said we'd put it on the agenda for some. She would like an endorsement from this board going forward. Personally, my problem with voting for it is you give DEP authority to do that. I have some reservations with that. Maybe the Board of Environmental Protection or the legislature to enact, or something that would allow the DEP to recommend a product stewardship program that would come back to the legislature to get voted on, I can see that.
I don't know who the DEP is. Is the DEP the chair, or rather, not the chair, but the, who makes that decision in the DEP? Is it
I'm
one
not sure it's
person?
well-defined, because when you read through the language, it says the Department of Environmental Protection. So is that, I don't know, Joe, maybe you can elaborate a little bit.
I got a copy of it and went through it, trying to familiarize myself a little bit with this EPR, Extended Product Responsibility concept.
Yeah.
Okay. I do share the misgivings, Dennis, about empowering any particular department with a lot of authority that is not all that well defined. The product families are not specified here in the bill. I was wondering off the top of my head what could fall under the category. I found a website for a Product Stewardship Institute in Boston, and they were speaking of carpets, medical sharps, paint, pesticides, pharmaceuticals, phone books, thermostats, tires, electronics, gas cylinders, anything with mercury in it. Okay. On that same website, there is a nice little map there that shows what states have right now. And we lead the league. We've got 5 of them. No one else has that many. On e-waste, electronics, thermostats, auto switches, batteries, and fluorescent bulbs. I also am a little bit concerned about something mentioned in the summary that states that if a producer of a designated product does not participate in an approved product stewardship program, that producer's product may not be sold in or into the state as an implementation date to be established by the department. And I think that kind of bumps up against the Constitution's Commerce Clause, where that's sort of the congressional authority. So because of its ambiguity, I'm a little bit, I still have more questions than
Well, I think,
inclination to support.
yeah, I think as you read through it, that really begs a lot of, what does this mean and whatnot, which I think there's evidently been a lot of work put into this thing, right? Based on just the volumes of information in it. But when you give the DEP kind of exclusivity of what's going to go in it or not go in it, and to your point, or you can't sell it within the state, that's a lot of power.
That kind of power is a little, without, in one person or a small group of people, it's pretty, yeah.
So that's my reading of it.
Thanks, Joe. I know
Thank
that
you.
we kind of appreciate the input. Kind of put this on here because she did make the request. In January, the legislature is going to start to boil through all of this stuff, so.
So I guess unless there's a motion, it'd be appropriate just to go on to the next item, huh?
I guess it would be. So if someone would like to make a motion, I'd entertain one. If not, we'll move on and we'll send a note to Representative Innes that in its current form, taking no action, I guess, is more than anything. But
Well, how about if we make a motion that in its current form, we won't support it unless there's revisions?
that's fine, too. She's looking for an endorsement, I guess.
Oh,
So I would say that,
well, I make a motion that we don't endorse it then.
I second that.
okay? Any discussion on that?
I mean, my concern with such a motion is may get the idea of the general idea of not supporting the next step in recycling, and I don't want to get that across. It's just that this is not developed to the point that there's, as Joe says, there's more questions than there are answers to it. So I don't support it from that aspect, but the basic idea of it may be good.
Well, with that being said, would you
Amend it?
amend the motion that in its current form, although what? I mean, I don't,
I thought
think
that's
we
what I
could-
originally said,
think-
and then it wasn't correct that way, but
Right.
I'll try try to rephrase the motion.
Well, I think that John's point is right. I don't think we want to come across as Waterboro doesn't support recycling, because I think this community has done a lot of things to support recycling.
Well, I'll make a motion then that we do not support the LD in its current language. However, if that language should be changed to prove acceptable, then it should be brought up for a future vote. Does that cover all the
I
angles?
think that was excellent.
That's not bad.
Would you second,
I
change
would.
your second to endorse that? Any discussion on that? All those in favor? Well put, I might add,
Right.
Gordon. It was very well stated. Layout of first quarter schedule, I just toss it up that we start with the committees and go through. I think my first thought was, kind of those committees that are busy and whatnot. So I know the road review is very busy. The finance committee is not yet, but will be. The recycling committee. So I guess to me, if anything, we would tee up those three committees kind of first. Maybe.
It'd be good to get the planning board, I think,
Right.
too.
So the thought is that we go maybe, because I think recycling committee has done a lot of things. David has presented some things, maybe invite the recycling committee to start. Road review, I think, will have a better opportunity to look after they have the meeting with the DOT with regard to this procedure, and maybe Tom being involved. Maybe we bring them into the second meeting. Planning board into the third meeting, and then as we get into February, I think that we then get in the finance committee and start to bring in some of the other committees as well.
Got the Economic Development Committee, too.
EDC.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would defer, if you think if the EDC is progressed, or has some things progressing, maybe sooner than later, we bring in the EDC in front of the planning, or actually the EDC, if we went,
EDC has a guest speaker that's coming at the end of January, so February would be a good time frame.
so if we go recycling, road review, planning board,
Finance.
finance committee, EDC, that gets us the first five,
Yep.
which takes us through, well, we're going to do 3 weeks, and then we will not do one on the fourth week.
I think if we let people know, that's 5 or 6 weeks ahead, and
Yeah.
we let people know in 5 or 6 week chunks,
Yep.
that gives them plenty of notice, and then a month from now, when we're 3 weeks from the end, we'll come up with the next 6 week.
And we talked about, I know we really haven't, although Nancy has talked to the department heads about it, what I would like to do is we bring the 3 in, recycling, road review, planning board, in 3 successive weeks, and then bring, like, Matt in on week 4 for a department meeting. And then we do finance committee, EDC, another committee, and then bring Clint in, we'll say.
Yeah.
So we start that kind of
Yeah.
a process.
Yep.
So we'll put that schedule together, and I know Pam is not here tonight, but she will review the tape, she assured me. So recycling, road review, planning board,
Yeah.
fire department, EMS, and then starting February, we go finance committee, EDC, and we'll add on from that point. And the 4th meeting in February would bring in Clint for transfer station.
Okay, gives us 2 months.
After the EDC, you could do the Library Board of Trustees.
Yep. Yeah, that takes care of the first 2 months.
Yep.
Okay? Works for me. All right,
And certainly, if a committee has something to report on before their given week, then by all
We'll be here,
means, they
right.
should,
And we'll leave that
call
open.
and come in.
all right. New business number 4, sidewalk grant. Really not a sidewalk grant, it's Safe Routes to School program. So,
I will move that we follow up on grants and with the first step, getting Tom to analyze it and report back to us.
okay,
Second that.
second. Any discussion? Certainly would want him to report through or to the road review committee before he comes back to us, right? But I would guess that would be the
Well,
the
the
normal.
road review committee wants our endorsement, but we also want their endorsement.
Right.
So it's a,
All right, any other discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Discuss York County Emergency Energy Efficiency Grant. I know
Again, that's
Nancy-
Nancy that has that.
Nancy looking at it, unfortunately, she is not here tonight. Handicap accessibility, I believe she did make, or was making contact with Alpha One. Not sure where that is either, that really is on her put.
all the specs on that should be right up there in
I agree.
Augusta.
And we used Alpha One when we did the other building years ago. And I am remiss in the fact that we should have added committee appointments on, as item 3 under old business.
I'll move that we add committee appointments to item 3.
Second.
All those in favor? All right, committee appointment, we do have a request.
I will,
Yep, go ahead, John.
I will move that we appoint Patricia Arelli to the Transfer Station and Recycling Committee.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
I'm going to abstain because I wasn't here for the interview, so.
Other warrants and bills of payroll?
So move.
I need a second.
Second.
All those in favor? Minutes of 12:15.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded by John. All those in favor? Pending decisions, personnel policy, committee involvement, training proposal, land trust deeds. I don't know if you guys have had a chance, but Ken did send in I think that's it's either in your, I know there was
That came through today.
a note through today. I think there's a copy of it here as well, but, so maybe we're actually making some headway there. Parks ordinance. And we set a meeting for the public meeting, right?
That was, Pam was supposed to set up a public meeting for that. Or a public hearing, excuse me.
The street light request, Sean is back.
Yep.
Yes.
Today.
I'll follow up with Pam to make sure that she has sent off that request to both he and Matt. So, which moves into action list, and I'll do that with Pam tomorrow. I also pin something back to Representative Innes relative to the vote that we made this evening on LD, the proposed LD 2389. Any other actions out of tonight's meeting? Items really for next week, even though it says here there's no selectmen's meeting, that we have to at least have a meeting to sign bills and warrants and
Can that be done without an official meeting? It's not going to have enough people here for an official meeting. We can just come in and sign those?
Well, the
Or
warrants-
can
We have
we
to vote.
authorize
the
in this
payroll, the
meeting?
payroll certainly can be.
Yeah. Is that something that would need an authorization from this meeting to go forward with the selectmen available to sign for next?
Well, there's 3 of us here next week, right? There's 3 of us here next week. Are you here?
I'm not here in the evening.
If
You
it's
hear it
just a matter of payroll, we can...
late afternoon?
Yeah,
You guys
late meeting,
do something late
I need to be
afternoon?
out of here at 5.
So you
On
get,
Tuesday, I can be here as early as 3:30.
Okay.
so we'll set a meeting just to do warrants and bills for payroll at 4:30? The three of you can make it?
What time can you be here, Gordon?
I mean, it's,
Can you do
I didn't
3:30?
realize we were going to have a meeting, so I set an appointment.
John, can you do
set an appointment.
3:30?
I'll be here at 3:30.
So 3:30?
3:30, okay.
What? 3:30?
3:30.
3:30.
30. Okay.
And I'll make sure that
Mickey's hand will be...
Yeah, Mickey's here.
one of Mickey's hands will be on the 3. All right. For the week after, agenda items. And unfortunately, Pam is not here because I think we will have the recycling committee, or David, and whomever else he wants to bring, give a report under
Capital-
committee reports.
Capital plans, where are we with that?
We're meeting on the 11th
The 11th with the finance committee?
with the finance committee.
Okay.
Dennis, I think we need to have a discussion about revenue sharing. Looking at the impact statement that came out today, it's looking like we're going to lose $40,000 out of this budget. I think that we need to start looking at our budget now and figuring out where we're going to get $40,000.
Yeah, I agree.
And also, we've asked our auditor a number of times now about the year-end journal entries, and apparently we still don't have those. Nancy was going to contact him and find out why we hadn't received those yet. We had said if we didn't hear something, that maybe it was going to be time for the Board of Selectmen to send them a notification that we expect those.
She's not going to be back in this week either, right? I mean, she's out for the week.
I don't know.
Yep.
She is out for the week, okay.
Well, there's only tomorrow.
Well, half a day Thursday, right? No?
No. Thursday is closed.
Close Thursday?
I'm sorry, at 1, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You're right. But she is out for the
She's
week.
out for the week.
And she was going to call them 2 weeks ago, so,
Yeah.
or was she here last? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, she was going to call and find out why we hadn't received those yet. I think we've waited for them long enough.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a final audit report, we've accepted the final audit report, you know, with regard to all of that, I mean, we're just, we're not talking about a whole host of entries here, it's, so. Let me see if I can, between email or touch and base, whether or not I can find out where she is with that. And if nothing more, on next Tuesday afternoon when you're in, maybe there's some action that gets taken from a letter from the board or whatever the case may be Tuesday. Because if not, it's going to default to the 5th. So this, and maybe we ought to look at all of the, kind of an overview of, I know it's only 4 or 5 days into the next 6 months, but we ought to have financial reports enough on the 5th that we can at least look at the impact of the loss of revenue sharing, as well as, you know, kind of a good overview of where we stand with all of the accounts. I know we get that on a weekly basis, but, so we'll talk revenue sharing and, I guess, expenditures, revenues, because we already know that we've got some issues with the roads that we're shutting down, you know, that, any more spending there.
The money that's left in the roads is the CIP projects, and I asked Fred about that at the Road Review Committee last week, and he seemed to acknowledge that budget is gone, but the money that's left in there will keep him busy through the spring doing the ditching piece of the the CIP project, and that's what funding is left, is the CIP. What's
which
going to
the
hurt
ditching
us is
project.
if any unexpected expenses come up with roadways, that's where we're going to be in a pickle.
Yeah.
I did not see anything addressing the URIP reductions. So what we get for what used to be roadblock grant
Yeah.
money, okay, I think is still coming, right? Because anything, it's all open, free game, right, as the legislature goes back to work.
This $40,000 deficit that Tammy was talking about, is that an expectation for this current budget, or is that for
Current budget.
for our current budget year?
That is, in this current year, FY10, which we're in right now, that is a debit of 40,000
That's a
plus
little 43,000,
that
40,000.
we will not see from the state. And if you look at your expenditure revenue reports down in the revenue, in the general government, there is a line, it says state revenue sharing. They send us a check every month, basically. It's about, round numbers, $500,000 a year for high 400,000s. It got knocked down last year, fairly significant, by 80,000. This sounds like there's another 40 coming out of it. So in a 2-year time frame, we're going to lose better than 20% of revenue sharing. I say let them take it all back.
By the time they just may.
Write that down.
And will secede.
We're joining Casco in the secession movement.
Oh, it's Casco, yeah, Casco's anything else for the 5th, meeting of the 5th? I'm sure something will
I'd
come
like
up.
to do that tribute to the military on the 5th. The response was not what I had hoped it would be, and I'm hoping with a few extra weeks that it may improve, because I know full well that there are more than 4 individuals that, from the Waterboro area, that are serving in the military currently. So,
All right, so
was
we'll
a question? All military people from Waterboro that are... I'm looking for names and photographs. I don't necessarily need to know where they're serving. It's just a tribute to those that are from the community that are serving. That I think the board would like to start off the new year by recognizing their contributions.
Currently serving, or those who've served previously as well?
Just the currently serving. I mean, I think Veterans Day takes pretty much care of the other, but a recognition that of those that are currently serving.
Thank you.
So we'll schedule that tentatively for the 5th, see how that shakes out. Anything else that we've missed? Not items needing signature, forget the warrants, bills for payroll, and the order, malfunctioning, the correction order. Minutes of 12:15. Just to remind everybody, WAB meeting at 7:30 tomorrow morning, their business development meeting tomorrow morning at 7:30 at the town hall. The offices will close here at 1 p.m. on Thursday, Christmas Eve. Friday, the office will be closed. Tuesday at 3:30. The selectmen will be holding a meeting for the purpose of signing warrants and bills and payroll. Wednesday, the 30th, 7:30 a.m. WAB Business Development meeting. Is that a weekly meeting,
Yes.
Tammy Jo?
Yes.
Thursday, New Year's Eve, the town office will be closing again at 1 p.m. and will be closed on New Year's Day. So, would suggest if you have a vehicle that needs to be registered before the end of December, that you have a day and a half to get that done.
Or you can do it anytime,
Or you can do it
online. No lines, no waiting.
No lines, no waiting. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
You got
moved. So seconded then.
Moved by John, seconded by Gordon. All those in favor? Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Joe.